Hey, what's up dudes, this is Don from Tiny4x4 and today I received the latest Orlandoo Hunter, the M01 kit. Thanks to Orlandoo Hunter model for providing me this sample. This is the latest one. It sports leaf springs in the front and in the rear. Also has some internal sprung shocks. There's a new transfer case, divorced motor, a lot of new stuff actually. Some specs: it has a 126mm wheelbase. I think that's the track, 64 track width. It's compared to the previous models. This is not only a lot thicker, but also overall larger. It's also the most heaviest of all. I think it's around 600, almost 600 Gs. But without further delay, let's open this bad boy and have a closer look. I'm really excited. Actually, I didn't expect this to arrive this early. And as usual, we got the manual, nicely packed and labeled bags. Those are actually quite a lot of parts. Box is full compared to some other kits. Manual, it's also kind of thick. As usual, the manuals from Orlandoo are pretty detailed, nicely done, very well explained, all the parts included. Building instructions are usually very clear. Quite a few pages. Tools, screws, as usual. Oh, nice. We have some laser etched parts. Looks like some grills and stuff. Really nice. This adds to the overall details. We got the cap. A lot of people were asking, does it come in this nice camo or in different colors? But I mean, this is a kit, and as usual with Orlandoo, you need to paint them. Usually they are nice mold, so there's not a lot of prep work needed, in fact. But as always, it comes in gray color, white. Some come in white. Most now these days come in gray. This looks like drive shafts and the shackles for the leaf springs. We got a lot of what looks like body parts, gas tanks, winch. It has a winch. It's a manual winch. Wheels and tires. I think the tires are 35mm. I'm not sure about the diameter on those wheels, but they are not billock wheels yet, but they come with this nice wheel hub, but the wheels itself are not billocks. Then we have more body parts. This appears to be the bed. A lot of those shoulder screws. We saw first on the P02, which uses those for the steering linkage. I'm not sure where they're used in this model. We'll find out soon. This looks like some covers in the cab for the servo and motor and stuff. The axles, they look nice. and they're not really big. I mean, compared to the older X's, they more look like P02, I guess. Really scale looking. We got the usual CVDs, bearings, umbrella gears. The internals are the same as on the A models, so it's just the housing. This appears to be chassis rails, chassis parts, lenses, clear parts, transfer case. That's all that's in the box. As usual, you need to buy electronics separate. I think I heard it's 21 LEDs on the body. So if you want to use all of those, you will need to use the D4L. If you don't mind the functions, the sound, you could also use the stock or the standard ESC from Orlandoo Hunter, which now also comes in a smaller version. But this will only give you standard lights, one function on off, so it's all or nothing. If you really want to have all those fancy light functions, you will need a D4L, or you will need like a third-party PCB or controller, like the DAS Micro TBS unit. Can be programmed. It can be programmed with different sounds that might fit better for this kind of truck. But you can actually use it almost the same way as a D4L, but you have to program it. It's not really easy. It took me a few tries to program those, but once you do, they're pretty small and nice. It's a good alternative to the D4L. If you don't like the D4L, that's definitely a way to hook up all the functions on those kind of models. Yeah, I don't even know where to start. There are a lot of parts. I just took them out randomly, so I put them back in the box and go one by one, I guess. Oh, look at this. There's a new tool as well. I guess that's for that must be for the wheel nuts. Oh dear. The usual tools, a big bag of screws, and it seems there are a few new sizes. Those look familiar, but hell, those are small. I'm not even sure if those are M1. They could be M1. I'm not even sure if I have a good tool for these. So those are the tools and hardware you get with the kit. I need to check the manual, but I guess those are for the grill intakes. I have no idea. It's quite light. This needs to be cut off, I guess, and sanded. And you can see here it definitely needs some prep work, but it's not bad. I mean, it's a pretty nice mold as always. It just needs a little bit of sanding and preparation, and it will be good to paint. Mirror inlays, the grill, and I have no idea what those parts are. The body details, wipers, frames for, I guess those are the mirrors. Then while we are looking at the body, I guess I'll open back E, which appears to be the bed. I recognize this is slightly warped. but I guess it doesn't matter. Once this is put together, it should be good. Otherwise, if you have warped parts like this, or even our cages, the SLS printed cages, if you have warped parts, dip them in hot water and slightly, or gently bend them back into shape, cool them down, and they should keep the shape. Always use hot water for warped parts, never use any other source of heat, because this will melt. But hot water is nice, and then you can easily flex that one back if it's needed. This appears to be the side walls of the bed. Bumpers, maybe, I'm not sure. Some more parts that belongs to the bed. We got these mud flaps. I guess those are the mud flaps. Yeah. Now they look different to the ones from the Defender. I guess they also need to be glued on. So that's the bed. Those are a lot of parts. We have some more chassis parts, body parts. I have no idea. First thing pops out is the wire for the winch. This is the front bumper, I guess. We have some shackles, gas tanks, some more detail parts. I guess they go onto the chassis. I had no idea what these are. Chassis parts. The rear light buckets, maybe. A lot of parts. It's more expensive than the other kits, but as you can see, you also get a lot of parts. This is fun. It's like a real static plastic kit. No idea what those parts are actually. I like how they put the logo on there. This is some kind of exhaust, I guess. So I'm not sure what those parts are. They also told me that this kit needs a lot more efforts to put together than compared to the older kits. I think this is the covers that go under the cab to cover up the servo and motor. Some more unknown parts. It's interesting because with the other kits you already knew, okay, this is this and this is that, but here this is like a new this is like a surprise. Then we got a lot of those shoulder screws. They were introduced in the P02 kit. Quite a few of those, and we have some small springs. I guess those are for the tilt mechanism for the cab. The cab has a tilt mechanism actually, like this. So I guess you can place your battery in there and have it changed easily by just tilting the cab up and down. Here we got the drive shafts. Oh yeah, and I saw those on the pictures. These are actually the old school ball heads. I mean the double ball head. They used to have this. This is actually an old part. They used to have this on the very first F-150 kits. On the P01 they used to have these screws. which makes a double ball screw, but then very early on they exchanged this with the one we know. So now they brought this one back, which is really cool, because so many times I was hoping to get those for some custom builds. So I hope to see those as a spare part as well, because this can be helpful for custom builds. And we got the shock shaft. The internal springs, this is really nice. I hope they work on the standard shocks as well, because this is something I did before. On the stock shocks. This also has an internal spring, but it wasn't easy to get those springs, to find those separate. Those might be the steering links, right, for the axles. We got a lot of leaves. They're quite soft. This is nice because there's a whole stack. You can stack them. I've done leaf springs before, but to find the correct leaves isn't easy, and you can see this is only one leaf. If I would stack up on leaves here, it would be too hard. This is still pretty soft. Shafts, I'm not sure which one those are. They look like the 300s, the ones you get from the A02 and A03 kit. We got the longer ones. They look like the ones from the P02 kit. I have to confirm this. The leaf shackles, those parts are definitely helpful. I used to make them from brass, which was a pain, and now you can just buy them like this. This will help a lot. And those are the shock bodies for the internal sprung shocks. As you can see, the top cap is quite special. It has this little pin here, which I guess should fix the smaller end of those springs. And we got some more chassis parts, transfer case, chassis rails. Hell yeah, that looks great. As usual, those appear to be steel. We got some cross members for the chassis, a lot of lenses, clear parts for the lights, servo horn. This is the transfer case, and the gearbox or the motor mount. No idea what this is. Some sort of mounts, no idea. Bearings and ball head screws. Those are the gears for the transfer case. I'm not sure what this is for, but the nice thing about this, I mean, this is a reverse gearbox. We already know this reverse gearbox. It can be bought separate, or it comes with this F-150 chassis. Reverse gearbox means the rear and the front spins in an opposite direction. This uses the same gears, right? But as you can see, it uses 2 times this and not this, because the double shaft gear is needed for the divorce setup, so you can hook up the drive shaft to the motor. Those are the axles, shafts, bearings, more bearings, CVDs and rear stub axles, and the usual umbrella gears here, same as is used in the A kit axles. I'm not sure, but I think these lockouts are also the same as on the A, almost the same as on the A axles. I'm not sure about those, but the rest seems to be the same. And the axle cases, they look really nice. So the last bag are wheels and tires. Those are the wheel hubs, foams, which I personally don't use. Look at this mess. These are the wheels. You actually attach those to the axle, and then the wheels like this. Oops. The wheels are screwed onto those hubs like in a real track. I can't really find my calipers. No idea where I put them. There's a big mess over there. So those are, I'd say those are 20 or 19.5 mil. And the tires, which are 35 mil outer diameter, and I can already tell you those are soft, really soft and thin. Nice. I didn't expect those to be that soft. Definitely a nice addition to the Orlandoo family. And now I'm left with a big mess. So that was the unboxing of the latest Orlandoo, the OH32M01 kit. To finish this kit, you will need paint, you will need glue, and you will need the electronics. You either can go the 4-in-1 D4L way, or you buy all separate ESC and radio of your choice. However, if you want to make use of all those LEDs and you want sound, then the D4L is definitely the preferred way to go. So that's it, guys. That's the latest Orlandoo Hunter kit. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions about Orlandoo in general, please join the Facebook group Orlandoo Builders Guild. There are a lot of good infos on there. Also visit us on tiny4x4.com. This is our web shop. Thanks, and see you next time.